Saturdays at Lizzie's place were a ritual. She didn't know why they'd picked her place to meet. The living room wasn't very big, mainly due to all the books. Lizzie liked books, even though they took up a lot of space. She had a friend who claimed he only had space for 7 books, and whenever he bought a new one, got rid of one. Lizzie didn't like that idea, that you could have enough books. So there they were, meeting at hers, somehow all squeezing into the living room. They weren't a podcast, or a religion. No, this was important. They were almost like a secret society. Mind you, Hassan's brother had actually been in a secret society, which had sounded impressive and slightly sinister, until his Auntie Thingy had caught him singing outside T.J. Hughes. Turned out he was in a choir, and they were singing Christmas carols, and he had the voice of a car alarm. There were 3 of them in their little club. That's what her mum called it. "How's your little club? When's your little club getting together?" "I'm 29, Mum," Lizzie thought. "Stop making it sound unreal, like I'm having a tea party with my toys." God knows how they'd found each other. It was hard to remember now. Sort of IRL, sort of the internet. But there they were, popped into existence as a group. They all had lives outside of the little club, or loudly told each other that they did. Especially Robin. She was always saying, "I'm too busy for this," or "I don't have the time." Usually in 6-minute voice notes that sometimes made the group chat a bit heavy weather. Anyway, they met on Saturdays. Hassan had said that if you turned up late, you wouldn't be admitted. It was a rule. Hassan was always inventing rules, as though trying to make sense of the world. The no latecomers rule had petered out pretty quickly, though, because they always ended up waiting for Robin. In theory, there was a direct bus from hers to Lizzie's, but in practice, it always involved a change in the Ting Ting Casino car park, where a mother with a pram would stand shooting daggers at Robin's wheelchair, silently promising a fight over the single accessible space on the next bus. Normally, the pram would get the space, as the 72s rarely had the ramp. So, rules or no rules, they'd wait for Robin, who'd sometimes be an hour late. Lizzie understood then why Robin was always saying how she didn't have the time. Anyway, here they all were again, only a little bit late. The new episode all loaded up and ready to go. This was it. This was their ritual, their secret society. She'd put out a few crisps. One of Lizzie's many more than 7 books was about children who spent their summers catching smugglers and then having scrummo midnight feasts. Lizzie had always thought that sounded nice, so she tried laying on a midnight feast last year. Turned out no one really fancied Scotch eggs and trifle at knocking on for 1 a.m. So just the crisps. Lizzie always bought the crisps, even if Robin always chose the flavours. This wasn't quite one of Hassan's rules. He was 19, he'd eat anything. But Lizzie had learnt not to put out anything that Robin wouldn't eat, as the bowl would be pushed loudly about the coffee table for an hour, like a planchette across a Ouija board, summoning an undead god. The mountains of sweet chili, or sour lemon, remained uncrested, as they scrabbled in the Spartan foothills of salt and vinegar. Robin was later than usual, and it had been raining, so she arrived steaming like a microwaved Christmas pudding. Hassan had been there fidgeting on the sofa for an hour, telling Lizzie some of his new rules and his new theories. Hassan always had theories about what they were going to watch. Wild and extravagant, fine spun as wedding cake decorations, and frequently based on nothing more than a deleted post or the corner of a JPEG. Normally Robin would shoot him down in flames. Whatever internet Robin had always turned out to be right. No matter how early Hassan, no matter how late Robin, he never ran out of theories. He had a lot for today's episode. He'd heard from someone in confidence, who'd heard from someone who didn't actually work on the show, but had seen something on the phone of someone who absolutely did, and this meant that, if everything went according to plan, the club were all in for a surprise halfway through. What was the surprise? Hassan didn't actually know, which meant it was a rubbish surprise. Hassan didn't like surprises he didn't know in advance, but he could make an educated guess. It'll be the Rani. It was always definitely.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?